Jimmy, can you talk a bit about where the government is in terms of cracking down on China and properly dealing with the Chinese threat?
I think that there's been an awakening over the past 3 or 4 years, but in particular, in the past few weeks, as more Americans are waking up to this, as they've seen the spy balloon with PLA backing flying over the continental U.S. I mean, it's a Chinese military surveillance device that some experts say could deliver weapons in the future. So this is something that more people are becoming aware of. And in Congress, there's increasing bipartisan support for actually translating that into action, into a regulatory regime that can deal both with the Chinese Communist Party's human rights atrocities and preventing Americans from being complicit in that, and also preventing us from being complicit in the Chinese military's buildup, which a lot of reporting has shown has been fueled in part by American investment. So there are all these wonky new things that people are trying to get across the finish line, whether it's the Biden administration cracking down on tech exports and outbound investment potentially, or it's Congress stepping in and saying we need to look at this in a completely new way. We need to take drastic steps to limit things like TikTok, which is linked to ByteDance. It's a company under ByteDance which has extensive ties to the Chinese Communist Party. So there's a lot to do, and people are very focused on that heading into the new Congress.
What do you expect to substantially come out of the Select Committee on the CCP?
So I think it's particularly important when it comes to alerting the American people about the threat posed by the Chinese Communist Party across multiple domains: economic, ideological, and human rights, in terms of technology. And you already have the standing congressional committees, whether it's the foreign affairs committees or intelligence or armed services, that deal with a lot of this stuff from the legislative angle. But the select committee on China, or on countering the Chinese Communist Party, is going to be particularly important when it comes to bringing new facts to light, using the subpoena power to investigate different potentially unethical practices that are going on in the corporate space or in government or elsewhere. And the results of these investigations are going to be highly significant, I think. We'll probably learn a lot about the gaps in US policy toward China that currently need to be filled. So there's that, and also just presenting this case to the American people that things need to change when it comes to our policy toward China. We saw this in the first hearing 2 days ago, where national security experts and a Chinese dissident came out swinging and basically said what we're dealing with is an unprecedented threat in the 21st century to our way of life. And this is the case that people are going to continue to make over the next several months. So it's definitely something to watch. We're going to see a lot come out of it.
Do you expect Taiwan to come up high in the committee as well in terms of priorities?
Taiwan will be a focus. And we saw this in the conversations that took place during the first hearing this week as well. But I think something that Chairman Mike Gallagher, who recently, as you know, traveled to Taiwan and met with President Tsai, he's very focused on making sure that the Taiwanese are going to get the arms that they need to be able to deter potential Chinese invasion in the future. There are massive backlogs of armed deliveries totaling something near $20 billion reportedly. And figuring out what's going on there and having the select committee work with the other committees of jurisdiction is going to be a major focus for them. That's something that's going to be highly significant. Just learning how Americans can support Taiwan and what policy changes need to be put in place. So that's absolutely going to be a focus for the committee, but also for this Congress as well, with reports that Kevin McCarthy might be visiting Taiwan sometime in the next several months. It's going to be a big focus. We'll see more congressional delegations. We'll see more diplomatic exchanges and legislation to help arm the Taiwanese military or to help deter a Chinese invasion as well.